What a day. Whew. Just finished work. Oh, God. Completely worn out, overworked, underpaid, and, this is what happens with companies that are too short-sighted, regardless. Pushing on. The front end of exploratingminds.com, don't worry, I didn't crash the site again. The front end is a quick sign up now. You don't have that long form that asks for like your username, your real name, your password, email, date of birth. Wants you to ask category. It's actually just a couple of clicks now, and automatically you get the username given to you and password given to you, like a random one that you can then log in with that and then change it to whatever you desire it to be. This is a double-edged sword. Well, I want the platform to be obvious that we're not nosy about your personal details. It's also a potential to be too easy to sign up and have people impersonate other people. This, again, is why accounts, as it says on the front page, accounts are watched for, they're screened, if you will, for security reasons, right? Especially the new accounts, so they're watched closely. And there's only a small handful of accounts anyway, so to practice that it hasn't been needed so much, but that's what we will do if it is needed. And I was watching a show, Caffeine Corner with Stephen Cray and Cheshire Vic, on about the Guardian project. Some really cool stuff. Because people don't want to put personal details on things that they don't yet know all the ins and outs of things, so potentially, they don't want to be targeted for being doxxed and so on. I understand that. Also, it's easy for unsocial or socially dysfunctional actors to play their games on a platform that doesn't require personal details, and it's very easy to sign up. So this is a double-edged sword here. It's incredibly easy to delete your account, though. And we have a report system, by the way, and a verification system. We put a verification tick by your name once we decide, this person's okay, and you got a number of criteria, really, to discern if you're genuine, you're not a copied account, you're not impersonating somebody, or you're not a bot, you're actually a human being. Certainly, the two mods I have, obviously they have a verification tick. So there's that in place, and when you report somebody, there's a whole description. If your description cannot back up your claims within context, we'll totally ignore it. If it can back up the claim within a context of what was said, who said it, why, when and where, we'll look into it, definitely. Again, this is, I think, new platforms need this model. They don't, this set of AI looking after everything doesn't work because, algorithms and end up doing, algorithms was mentioned in the show, actually, about the Guardian project, and that subject was raised, algorithms. Algorithms tend to do what the trolls are doing. What do the trolls do? What do the haters do? Well, they take information out of the context that it's already put in and put it into a offensive context. Why does that happen with the algorithms though? Well, because they're programmed that way because it's assumed these certain sets of words are always used in this certain set of contexts Therefore, this must be offensive. So and so said this, and you put a timestamp in, and so on. And a logarithm is not something that can discern anything outside of the context that's programmed into it. That's the problem with false flagging. Then, that's why it doesn't work, and it ends up being the opposite thing that is set out to resist. Speaking of being the opposite, or you set out to resist, if it was go the further back you go, it seemed more obvious that far left was actually very liberal, but they were never really that liberal right from the start. You can't say that. That might upset somebody. Freedom of speech. Don't say that. You're ruining the freedom of speech of somebody else. See the contradictions there. You mustn't say that because you're ruining somebody else's freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is not freedom to be a dick. Far left was never liberal to start with. The far left was the ones that projected to the far right that the far right was like that, restrictive, overbearing, too structured in their rules, lack of liberalism. Look at what Antifa did. Antifa means anti-fascist. They are incredibly fascist themselves. This is what a lot of people don't realise, and I don't subscribe to any category. You can't push me into a box. Like, I felt like I could relate to Mark, the founder of this Guardian project, when he said he's pro-reason. Yeah, back your shit up. Pro-reason, logic, consistency was raised. Cheshire Vic is an advocate of consistency. Again, all these attributes are the important aspects that I thought we should need to focus on for exploratory minds and on our user base here and there. Put a comment below whether you think it's a good idea to have just a couple of clicks to sign up to a website, or it's not a good idea. It might be a good idea just to cultivate the audience into the environment to start with, and then bring back up the old form that requires details. I don't know. But I think people's profile pages will be filled out a lot better because they feel like they rebel against a structured system that gives you this random name and random password, but you land on your account details page where you edit your account details anyway right after you click OK, right? You get this little dialog box that gives you your name and password, and you click OK and you're right there to edit your details right on the page. So you upload your banner, avatar, email address, username, date of birth, all these things that just required for consistency again, and I think it's important to give websites a structure that encourages people to edit and update their profiles, because you always have these websites with those blank accounts and it looks unprofessional, and people start to wonder, what's all these blank accounts? Do people not bother with this website? That kind of thing. There's a lot of psychology into it's marketing, I guess, into running a website. Although, we don't want money straight from individuals just to sign up anymore. We did have a one-time fee sign up, really for security reasons, and anything that we accumulated from that would have gone back into the system. But again, that was another conversation with Jerry Woodward I had, and he said, would you pay to sign up, just to sign up to a website? I said, frankly, no, I wouldn't. You make a good point. And this is what a lot of websites need to do as well, including myself. Put yourself in the shoes of the person visiting your website. Because there's a lot you see once you've logged in that they don't. Because you got priorities, you got your administration and all that. And the deeper levels can cloud your viewpoint of, hey, the customer just sees this front end website, they don't see the back end and what you're playing with here and there, all these ideas. Sometimes you be too close to the editing of things, do you miss the bigger picture of how a customer might see your website? I think you get what I mean there, hopefully. There's a lot of psychology to it, there's ins and outs. Certainly, people becoming what they resist because, when you get these far left things as well, like I said, because they're the one accusing, because their viewpoint of the world is coloured by what's inside. Also, what was in the show, Kathleen Corner, was Cheshire said, sometimes Steve can be misinterpreted because of the way he says things. And it's often the same with many people. We're all a bit like that. We say things that can be misinterpreted, but it's not really what we meant to articulate in that way. Cheshire rewords what Steve is saying, not to take it out of context, but to help clarify the context that something that was already intended to be within. And particularly if you're an impatient person, and like myself, things can be taken, I'm sure, out of context. But it's these people that Steve's Cheshire, that's a good, interesting point, and I think that's also one of the variables is why Steve's got these haters, is they're projecting, and it's easy to plug Steve's words into a hate context that was never intended, but it's easy to manipulate information from him in that way, in that interpretation. It's a fascinating show. We had a slight problem with it was my mistake. It was a slight problem with the social login options at Exploratory Minds till I realised how the settings set to private network. Turn that off and you can log in, of course. Private network is there just in case we need it, as that would equate to no more new sign-ups, just whoever is already on there. Thanks for watching anyway. That's all I've got to say for now, and I look forward to doing another video soon. Cheers, bye.